I'm sure the residents of Decatur, Illinois remember the drought we had last year. And I bet they're sitting there going, oh, I hope we don't have another drought this year. Well, so far we've had nothing but flooding rains. So obviously we're not going to have a drought. Now you say, well, what caused some of the big problems with the drought last year? Well, the big problem came when you think about what Lake Decatur is. It's a great big area which holds a ton of water. Okay? Now the thing is that water comes from the Sangamon River. Water flows from the Sangamon River right into the Lake Decatur, and it gets stored there. And you say, well, what's the problem? The problem is sediment. What is sediment? Well, it's little rocks and pebbles and dirt and anything else you could possibly think of that flows in the water from the Sangamon River all the way straight into the lake. Now when it gets to that lake, because that lake doesn't flow out, that sediment sits at the bottom of this lake. And when there is sediment there, of course, water can't be where sediment is, so that decreases the volume of water that's sitting in Lake Decatur. And that when that volume goes down low enough, then when we don't have a whole lot of rain, you have a drought. And then we have water restrictions, the whole 9 yards. Okay, so what are they going to do about this? Well, they have a process called dredging. And what they do is they have a company come in, and they have special machinery that comes in and takes all that sediment out of the bottom of Lake Decatur and ships it someplace else, thus increasing the volume of water that's stored in Lake Decatur, thus keeping us from having a major problem with drought in the years to come. But this is an expensive process. And it's not like they got a bunch of pails and shovels, they just go in there and start digging the stuff out. They got to have special equipment to do that, and that costs money. Now, how do they get a company? Well, you know how they have those auctions where they bid off merchandise to the highest bidder? Well, when it comes to a project like this, they don't bid to the highest bidder. They bid to the lowest bidder, the person that they have to pay the least, and still get the job done. So they're estimating they're going to have to pay a company approximately $60 million to get all this sediment out of the bottom of Lake Decatur. And that's a lot of money, people. And that's why they had to raise the water rates. See what I mean? Well, that's what's going on at Lake Decatur. That's why our water rates are so high. And that's why we had problems with the drought last year. Remember, it wasn't just that Lake Decatur went down. You know, we didn't have near as much water in Lake Decatur, but we also had an additional problem. Now, keep in mind that there are actual fish and sea life that actually lives in Lake Decatur as well. So when the water goes down, the fish starve too. So that was an additional problem. But you also have to keep in mind that it wasn't just Lake Decatur that went down. It was also the Sangamon River. It went down too. So our water supply coming in was going down as well. And that was an additional problem. So, anyway, hopefully all this information will help you people understand what's going on at Lake Decatur. And when you start seeing the dredging equipment, you'll know what's going on. Alright, I will tell you more in a future video. Stay tuned.